meditation. I mean, that's even part of the equipment, because as you're working on your correspondence, choosing your colors, gems, if you're going to use them, scents, incense, you're already starting to meditate on them. You're taking them, you're putting energy in them. I mean, well, I'll make this thing will go as complex to, and you'll see that the complexity is actually quite simple. And when we finish, you'll actually see that by the time you finish and are ready to do the actual ritual, you've already done it. Just because of all the energy you've put into everything. You know, I recommend as you're doing this, you also set time each day to meditate on it. Meditate on what your desired outcome is, the effects. Because as you're meditating on it, you're opening your subconscious up. You're starting to see the things your obstacles that's going to be in the way that you have to reduce. Also, on a note to this, when you are doing rituals, that's the one time where you want to be careful who you let in. The people you're around, because you don't want outside influences influencing your ritual. If they have a bad day, those negative energies, you're around them, they're going to attract to you. So, that's all. That's just one of the many things we'll be covering. The first step is setting up the temple and ritual site, which is, okay, what's my ritual going to be? What am I going to need? What type of magic will I be using? What type of energies will I be dealing with? Is it something that I want to do outside? Something that can be done inside? Or something, you know? That's where you start working with the elements. Do I want to be more closer to water? And that's the thing. Those are also part of our correspondence, to where we're choosing what we want to bring those energies in. The second part is the equipment. The equipment is kind of a wrong term for it, but that's what it is. It's your correspondence. It's your metals, colors, gemstones, if you're going to use them, scents, plants, incense. It's getting into the ruling angels of the day, night, ruling demons of the day and night. And this list goes on and on and on. It's all about how you're going to do it, what are you doing. And just remember, the more things you add, the more obstacles you're putting, the more influences that you're allowing in. Sometimes simplicity is best. But by meditating and working with each thing, you're also reducing the risk, or not the risk, the influence, the unwanted influences. You're pushing the negativity away. And I will also get into showing you how to use seals, because this structure can cover everything. It can be applied for everything, from the simplest act to the most complex act. And I will give you the tools, show you how. When it comes down to C, your ritual tools, what are they? Well, for some, it's going to be your athame, your sword, your altar table, your candles, your robe if you choose to wear one. When we get to ritual tools, I'll break some of them down and give you a general idea what their significance is. They're more of a focus, more made for focus, for you to be focused, to help you reach states of gnosis. They're more symbolic than anything, because when it comes to the sword or the athame or wand, you don't need one. He was blessed with a hand. There's your wand. But you got to reach that state. I don't expect a beginner to be able to go do that because it takes practice and time and repetition. Now, some of the ritual structures will be the preparation, and that's meditation, the gathering of the things, the focusing. If you're doing seagulls, you want to be a perfectionist on them, so you're going to spend hours and probably a couple days till you get them perfect. Then, what am I going to be using? Am I going to use the LVR or the lesser invocation ritual, the LIR, or the invocation of the hexagram ritual? There's so much out there you can use. Or you can create your own. I'll show you how to do that as well. Just like your invocations. When you do your invocations, you want to do it so, especially if you're going to be working with the spirits, you want to word it so they do the task and nothing but the task. They don't get sidetracked, do things that they're not supposed to, because they will. You got to word it perfect. This is invocations where perfection is a must. Then your concentration of the energies, working with the energies, which you're already doing as you're researching, figuring out what you want to use, applying it, meditating on it. As you can see, things start starting to repeat themselves in the actual ritual structures. Then you're going to have to prepare a word of thanks and the dismissal, followed by the LVR, which is blessing, banner, banishing ritual of the pentagram, and a license to depart if you're calling the angels or using spirits. If not, you can skip the license to depart, and I keep a word of thanks. Just giving thanks to whatever you're doing. Just like another thing, are you going to be using deities? Are you going to be assuming a God form? Every deity has a property, an aspect, and attributes to it. Other things, that's part of your correspondence. Do I want to use that? Do I want to use the planetary zodiac? You have a wealth before you. It's just how much you want to use and apply. Does this particular ritual need all that? Those are the things we got to decide. And I will show you each step. I will turn the simple thing into something that'll be a work of complex when it is done. But yet it wasn't. We went through all the baby steps, small steps, and even learned how to apply it. Then, after all that's done, we go back. Then we set up our ritual. Then for some, those that follow the Golden Dawn, OTO, IoT, you'll enter the tree. You'll fully you'll walk the tree and take your chair or throne or however you want to find yourself into Ferris after you go up. Then you bring all the energies as you're performing the ritual down through the tree, as above, so below. Both trees. Because we work with both energies. Both energies are part of us. It's up to, we need to know how to balance, control, and wield those energies. That's when a lot of people get confused. When people say, well, I don't practice. When you do any type of magical work, you're using all energies. You're just, as you're doing the preparation, the meditations, putting the stuff down, gathering your stuff, there's where you're taking and putting, that's where you're working with the energies. You're controlling. You're only allowing these energies are going to balance with these. As each energy goes through the tree to each sphere, it's picking up those energies. I mean, I know a lot of you, that's a little bit not where you want to work. That's fine. Because in the end, when we're in that ritual circle, we're not on this plane anyway. We're in the astral or ethereal. That's where our true magic works. That's where we cast. All we're doing at the end is exactly what? Giving breath, speaking the words, and casting it into the air. Once it's done, it'll set fruit. Depending how much you work, how much you applied to it, would the result of how fast the outcome comes. I mean, I like using when I'm doing my rituals, depending on what it was for most. As a ritual practitioner, yes, I'm using the angels, I'm using the trees, the planetary symbols, and intelligence and spirits, all to create one work. In a sense, look at it as an artist. You work as a painter or a sculpture. You're working to create a masterpiece. And you're going to take your time and perfect it. The more rituals you do, the easier it becomes. The more you can see and feel. Like I said, I'm going to give you the basics along with some of the complex. So we need to determine what type of ritual we're going to do. Then we need to determine what's going to be the best day. I do it. I like doing a lot of healing rituals because they're not easy. They're actually complex for me. For others, that's what I think. That's your past disciplines. Some people, certain energies, they can work with easier. Others, they can't. And it's also knowing one more thing before we really get into depth. Also know what you're trying to do. Because everything has a cause and effect. So make sure that whatever type of ritual you're doing, that you're prepared to pay the consequence. Because what goes around comes around. And that's mainly for other types of magic. But I'm stating it now because once I give you these tools, you'll be able to do pretty much anything. And I'll also state this, what you do is on you. I have no responsibility for it. I give you the knowledge. I walk you through it. I teach you. What you choose to do with it afterwards is on you. But I always, if you ever need questions or help, send me a message. I have no problem answering them. Or giving you my hand or pointing you in the right direction. So, what type of lighting? Which is also going to determine whether you're going to be doing this day and night. So let's say right now, we need to determine what type of ritual. Say we just want to send a simple blessing to a friend. And I'll cover give a couple descriptions of different ones as we go. Alright, so what kind of lighting? Well, what kind of energies do we want? So next, probably easiest step is going into our ruling angels of the day and night. Figure out what type of elements, what planetary symbols best align. for a particular, whatever blessing we want to give. Say, oh yeah, another thing. Don't try love spells. They don't work. That's the biggest joke of them all. Money spells I have no luck with. Probably because my beliefs, I believe in working for what you get. It's just like doing a ritual. The more you put into it, the more the one receiving will get. So it's common sense, applies to everything we do. Now some will say, well, apply the terms karma. Well, I'm going to bust those bubbles right along with these in here. It's cause and effect, guys. Plain and simple. There's no such thing as karma. Karma's a big joke. Just like, and I will cover this more in depth in another series, but silence. What does silence mean? What does secrecy mean? Why do we take oaths? They all play an important role, but they also can be roadblocks and hinder your growth. They're important, yes. They have their place. You have to look at everything as it's a ritual tool. When do I need it? When does it have its place? Don't ever place something on you that will hinder you. You know, you've heard me in the last few videos. If anybody, those I've watched, I have been going off on the division. I've been going off for a very long time about us being so divided. So I'm hoping with these videos, you can start seeing that there's no reason to be divided. We should be sharing with each other. Like I said, I've got many hats for each day of the week. So I can cover a lot of stuff from Enochian, chaos magic, sex magic, druidism, and the list goes on and on. We should never apply ourselves to just one school or one train of thought. The only time when we want to apply ourselves to one school or one train of thought is when we do a ritual. And we want to stay in those parameters of what our ritual is going to be on, the tools we'll be using. We don't want to jump outside, even though you can, but that's more on the chaos part. That's also more on the magician taking, because what you guys are. You're not Wiccan druids, you're all magicians. I don't care if you're what the grades they want to give you, they're just titles. They only have meaning when they need to have meaning. Which is something very important even doing this when we start getting into the words of power that we'll use. It's all about empowering them, giving their meanings. It's just like our voice. Everyone's voice is different. Everyone has their own frequency, own vibration. But the true art is the unspoken word. That's what silence actually truly means. The word unspoken. The one that is just action without, or it's more, you don't even think it. It's action without thought. Instant manifestation. And it takes time to reach that point and that stage. If you slack, if you're a slacker or you take a break, guess what? Got to apply more practice and time. You know, that's why some people you'll hear them. I live this from the time I go to bed to the time I get up. Even when I sleep in my dreams, I am living this life. It's a 24-hour, 365 days a year process. We're constantly growing, evolving. So let's start with the simple parts of correspondence. Like I said, you need to determine what your ritual is going to be for. Are we going to use metals, colors, gemstones, scents, plants, incense, other ruling angels of the day and night? I like using the ruling angels of the day and night. That way I get my planetary influences that can correspond to the ritual I'm doing. So let's say we're going to send a blessing for love. Or, no, bad choice of words. I don't mean love spell. I mean we're just sending blessings of love and happiness. Better. So we go to our correspondence, which I don't actually have right on hand written up for the day. So I will add this to this. So we want friendship. So what planetary aspect would best describe that, and what angel would best describe that? Well, let's read our angels real quick. These are the ruling angels of the day. They go from 1 hour to 12. Now when you start dealing with the Enochian aspect, the hours and stuff are a little bit different. I'm not going to cover too much of that with this. I'm going to save that for just those separate lectures and studies. Because the Enochian can get quite complex quick. Okay, so Sunday we have Mikael, whose name means who is as God. Is the angel who rules Sunday. The day associated with the sun. In astrology, the sun is said to rule the sign Leo, which indicates they share certain characteristics. Leo is the sign of the king, the central personality of country, and the persons responsible for overseeing the kingdom. Coordinating its activities and administering justice, such as descriptions of Aptified Fitzmichael, who is post-biblical Jewish, Christian, and Islamic writings rank as the greatest of all angels. He also administers justice as the angel of the last judgment, the wearer of souls. In addition, Michael is chief of archangels and chief of the order of virtues. I'm not going to get too much into their various orders and stuff, but that is something you guys would want to research on your own, because as you're learning that, you're also learning other angels that can be used. So if who's going to use Michael, we'd be using him for justice, retribution, judgment. Leadership. Then you look into, okay, what's the signs of Leo? Actually, I've got some of this written down. I'll just read off to you. So let's see what Leo has to offer for us. Leo, fire. This is elements which attribute to it. Other angels under Leo is Verikel. Governing spirit is Sogham. Seretsil. Geometric attribute is Sora. And most of you guys already know your planetary symbology, I think. Just in case, let me see here if I got something written down on it. I do, I just gotta find it. Nope, I'll have to post something on that later. We'll have to cover the zodiacs on a different section of this. But that is Sunday. One more thing. Just to give you an idea of power, words associated and attributed. The sun represents the planetary symbol of Michael. Michael is the sun. So what does the sun? What is its God name? Yad-He-Vah-He Elohim. The meaning of that, God manifested in the realm of spirit. Now you can start seeing how the names also apply. Their meanings and their aspects. Next one on the list will be Monday. The angel and archangel for Monday, which is associated with the moon, is Gabriel, whose name means God is my strength. In astrology, the moon associated with women, childbirth, it represents the principle, creativity, and the sense of giving birth to ideas. Thus, correlation between the moon and Gabriel is fitting, since Gabriel is the chief ambassador to humanity, announced the conception of Christ to the Virgin Mary. Muhammad claimed that Gabriel dictated the Quran to him, thus giving birth to a religion. And like I said, guys, these are just small antidotes. These are stuff you can, as you research, you can add to and build. Because there's a lot of stuff, as I will show you in a bigger aspect of things that you can add. So, I mean, most of us know the properties of the moon. I mean, moon colors white, silver. Gems are moonstone, crystal, pearl. Scents is jasmine, ginger, all sweet. Yeah, we'll skip that one. All sweet odors. Plant is mandrake, almond. Now we're getting into numerology. The number of the moon is 9. The sphere in the tree of life and this is on your interpretation of how you want to pronounce it. I pronounce it different than most. Shaddai Al-Kai or Shaddai Ashai. Geometric attribution is Kazmedel. The sphere is Yesod. So now we have Gabriel and the moon. What is Gabriel attached to? More planetary than the moon. I gave you the god name, which is Shaddai Akai. Ashai, or Akai, however you want to pronounce it. That's the other thing, guys. It's based on, go by what you feel. You'll know when you get it right by the vibrations, because it'll vibrate clear across the heavens and reverberate through you. You'll feel it. That's how you know when you get your pronunciations right. Just keep repeating it, playing with it until you can feel that energy reverberating through you. The meaning, the Almighty Living God. So as you can see, we're starting to get more correspondence, more things we can look up. So with Monday, Gabriel being associated with the moon, it's creativity, giving birth to ideas, thought. And there's so much more trivia to this. You could also say string, associated with childbirth. Good one for somebody that's having, you want to do a blessing for someone that's having a baby. Tuesday's ruler is Samael, the day associated with Mars. In astrology, Mars is associated with aggression, conflict, emotional passion, as well as physical skills. Samael, also known as amalgam of Sam, poison, and El, angel, is an angel of death, the prince of demons and magicians in rabbinic literature. In the sayings of Rabbi Elzer, he is charged with being the one who is the guise of the serpent tempted Eve, seduced her, and became the father of Cain. In the Zohar, Samael is the dark angel who wrestled with Jacob at Peniel. In Longfellow's The Golden Legend, Judas Iscariot explains to the rabbi why the dogs howl at night. In rabbinical book, it saith, the dogs howl when with icy breath great Samael, the angel of death, takes through the town his fight. So let's the attributes for Mars. Color is red. Day is Tuesday. Gems are ruby. Scents are pepper, tobacco, dragon's blood, all hot, pungent smells. Plants are oak, nettle, knox, perica. Its number is 5. Its formula is Elohim Gabor, which is the left side of the tree. Its geometric spirit is, Parcelba, Bell. Yes, I guess some of these words, some I'm not good with pronunciations, or I'm not trying to it down. Saphir Geburah. Angel Kamel. That's just probably and so for Tuesdays is the day where you probably want to do anything that's dealing with judgment and retribution. You'd combine him with Michael, and he goes a little bit farther than that. The more you can do. Like I said, the God name is Elohim Gabor. The meaning, Almighty God. For the planetary attributes. And the Sephiroth. Wednesday, Raphael. The shining one who heals. So, hey, we just found our healing one. Rules Wednesday associated with Mercury. Traits associated with the planet Mercury, as with the Roman god, include travel and communication, according to Sophie Vernon, a book of angels. Raphael is especially concerned with pilgrims, not only travelers, but those who pilgrimage to communicate with God. He is portrayed with staff and sandals, a water gourd, and a wallet strapped over his shoulder. In the Book of Tibet, Raphael acts as companion and guide to Tobit's son, Tobias, revealing himself only at the end as a servant of the 4 sub-princes of the Infernal Empire. Like I said, dealing with angels and attributes with them, you also got to remember, they have a counterpart. Just like everything does. Everything has a duality. Everything has if you have one aspect, you've also got the other. And you also, with angels, you also got to remember they are an act all high and mighty, and you're like beneath them. But always remember, you have dominion over them. They still have to do your bidding. But also remember, when working with angels, they're going to make you know more about yourself than you probably want to know until you build a repertoire with them. And it works the same way with demons. So you build that repertoire with them, and of course with demons, you make sure they know who's in charge if you're using them. Like I said, Raphael can be used for healing as well. Planetary symbol for Mercury. Colors orange. Okay, guys, another thing. I keep noticing these colors. I'm not big on colors because colors have no meaning to me. And I know some people think that's what? It's crazy. No. Remember what I said in the beginning. You give things meaning. It's like your words. You give words meaning, and therefore you give them power. So what color could mean something else to me. Usually when I'm working on this, I tend to, like I said, it's a tool. So I give it that attribute. But if you go to one of my altars, do not, just because you see some colors on it, don't think they mean what you think they mean. It could mean something completely different. But if you're going to be using one of my altars, it means they're probably working, and I'm showing, and you already know what they mean for, and it becomes your tool, along with mine. Okay, metals associated with Mercury, of course, is mercury, brass, gems, fire, opal, agate, scents, syrax, mastic, all fruitful odors, plants, molly, sage, numeric is 8. Okay, guys, I know you caught me mention them. Numerology also has a part if you so choose to use it. I don't very seldom use it. And they have their own meaning. I will also do an article, add their meanings with the lectures as we go. Because I don't know if anybody's ever read Eberemil and the Mage. That's all dealing with numerous squares, numbers. So yes, they have a meaning, and they have an importance, because when you start dealing with numbers, you also have to figure out, they'll help you figure out your vibration, your key vibration. That's your atonement. But other words have a numeric value. That numeric value is actually the vibration. The vibration you need to make it reverberate and sound. That's all in atonements. That's what atonements are for. Now, a lot of people give a little bit too much meaning to numerology, but it has its purpose. as you can see with this, what would we use with Raphael for healing? Yeah. The formula for Mercury is Elohim's of both. Geomantric is, yeah, the long T word. Tefet, Thorath. The Sephir is Had. Angel is Michael. So those two would work good together. That's not because a lot of your planets also have another angel associated to the sphere. So the planetary Mercury is associated with Had. The governing angel of Had is Michael. And the meaning is the Lord of Hosts. Like I said, when you start adding the Sephiric tree, the tree of life, I said I'll cover it a little bit. It's very complex because you got your past, you got very other attributes. But you know, if you want to use it, you need to know it. You need to be able to work with each sphere, and that's what they call walking the tree. Walking the tree. Learning each path, learning each sphere. And it's actually quite fun to do. You learn a lot. And eventually you become the flaming sword. But that's after you master both trees. Sachiel for Thursday. He whose name means covering of God is frequently described as ruler of Thursday, the day associated with Jupiter. He is presiding spirit of the planet Jupiter and the angel of the order of cherubim. He is invoked from the south, also the west. In lore of witchcraft and black magic, he is described as a servant of the four sub-princes of the infernal empire. So we have Jupiter. What is this? What is the attributes for Jupiter? The color is blue or royal blue. Day, of course, is Thursday. Metal is tin. Gemstones are amethyst, sapphires. Scents are saffron. All generous odors. Plant, olive. Numeric, 4. Formula is L, which means God. Geomantric is Hezmel. Sephir. The Sephira is Ches. The angel is Sezdikiel. And if you guys notice, almost all the angels end in L. They are an aspect of God. And next, we'll get to that subject later. And then you can start seeing where some beliefs come into play where, you know, like, well, I know certain Kabbalistic practitioners, they do what's called the ritual of taking on the Christ form. I'm not a big fan of it. I get the idea, I get the concept, but it's not for me. but I do understand it. This is something I don't have on here, but Thursday is also a good day for people to do divinations. So is Monday. I like doing I'm doing divinations for people. I like to do it on Thursday. Like I said, the god name is Al. Or sometimes the common pronunciation is Al. I'm not Italian, so it's not going to sound right. Also, it's sometimes pronounced Aleph Limid. The meaning is God or ox. Which is where they get the term elf for God, and Lamed for ox or goat. Also, it means the driving force, cosmic dynamics. Friday we have Aniel, chief of the order of principalities and one of the 7 angels of the creation, is ruler of Friday. He thus exercises dominion over the planet Venus and as ruler of the planet of love. He is concerned with humanity's sexuality. In Longfellow's The Golden Legend, Aniel is referred to as the angel of the star of love. There's more attributes to Venus. So if we're going to do one for friends, we'd be using Venus. Or for any type of blessings that you want to attribute the energies, loving energies, you would go through Venus. And Venus the color's green, the metals are copper, gemstones, emerald, topaz, scents are rose, myrtle, all soft, voluptuous odors, yeah, I stuck at some words. Plants are rose, myrtle, clover, number attributed to it is 7. The formula is Yad He Va He Savo. Geometric is Kedemel. The Sephira is Mazek. Angel Aniel with an H. Meaning Lord of Hosts, of the host. Or as somebody put, I am who I am, or I am that I am, depends on their translation. Lord of the hosts. So, with Aniel, mind you, this is also Friday, so Friday is a good day to do creation rituals for creating things, whether it be talismans, amulets, and that's kind of how you start figuring out what days you want to work in. Which, now I'll give you an example. Say we want to create something. So, we want to do it on a Friday. we want to work out of Venus. So we come up, back up here. We look at Friday Venus. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon for Friday. I just noticed something that's different from what I've got. Oh, that's because I was in the wrong one. So the hour for on Friday would be 1 o'clock. Something didn't look right. Or we go down to at night, it would be at 3 a.m. on a Friday. So that's where we're going to determine, do we want to use day or night? And that would be depending on what we're creating. As you'll learn with certain talismans, is to be created at night under a moon or under the sun. Those are the things you got to start figuring out. Then you want to figure out, okay, I want to do it on Friday. That's still the angel of creation. So, but I want to make sure it has a talisman, let's just say for strength. So I would go to Gabriel, which is the moon. So I'd come back up here. So definitely going to want to do it at night. And I'd probably want to choose this on a full moon night if I'm going to utilize it. So we come down to Friday, 2 a.m. That's Saturday. $5 a.m. So I'm still under Friday, which is the angel for creation. So I would plan my ritual working under a moon, depending on what types of energy you want it, depending on if you want it full, waxing, waning. And now you start seeing how the other correspondence come into play with the planets and the energies they give off. So now we come down to Cassio. It's one of the rulers of the planet Saturn associated with Saturday. He is known as the angel of solitudes and tears, perhaps reflecting a Saturine temperament given to moroseness and solaceness. He is also sometimes called the angel of temperance, and the planet Saturn is strongly associated with the social order. It's an embodiment of the principle of stability and an opposite of upheaval. Castiel is one of the princes of the Order of Powers, and Francis Barrett's The Mangus, he is pictured as a bearded djinn riding a dragon. Bit of sense of humor, too. So what's the attributions for Saturn? Well, for Saturn, color's black, brown. Metal is lead. Gemstones are onyx. Scents are errant, seismonic, indigo, all unpleasant odors. Plant is yew, cypress, night sage. I think everybody knows what night sage is. I don't need to elaborate any farther on that one. Attribution number is 3. The formula is Yod-He-Vah-He, Elohim. The Germanic spirit is Zazel. The meaning of Yod-He-Vah-He, Elohim, is God the Lord. And like I said, as you start taking this now, you start adding zodiac signs and properties. And like I said, we just bounce back up here. We figure out the day for what best suits our ritual under what angel and planet. And then we choose the hour, whether it be something that we're going to do at night or during the day. One more note. And I want to talk about Sabbaths real quick, because they're actually important. As in, we need our day of rest. So, it is one nice thing, depending on what school you're using, we'll allocate what day you rest. Some take Sunday as a Sabbath, others take Saturday. Sabbath goes from midnight to midnight. No work. No expenditure of energy. Have fun, enjoy, relax, meditate on things, but take a day of rest. Trust me, it's important. Because as you'll find, the more ritual magic you do, the more energy you spend. You need days to recover. So if you're taking, for me, I take my Sabbath either on Saturday or Monday, depending on what I'm working on. If I'm working out of the Kabbalistic, I take mine Saturday instead of Sunday. Others take it on Sunday. Where if I'm working on a knock-in, I take it on Monday. For each, there's another aspect. I know you guys hear me talk about angels, demons, and God. We can also throw the Egyptian gods in, look them up, find their attributes. I'll show you how. And you do the same thing. The same rule applies. So no matter if I'm using what I'm using, you can always find the attributes and aspects to each deity you choose to use, because they're numerous and they're all aspects. They all have properties, energies that we would use. That's why I say, when people ask, well, do you believe in God? Yes, I do. My belief is simple. There's many faces and many names of God. They're all of the one true God. Period. God has many aspects, many faces, many names. God is duality, male and female, positive and negative. He's a loving God one minute, a wrathful God the next. There's a duality in everything. So now we figure out what we're going to do for a ritual. We pick the times. As you can see, I just broke down metals, plants, and this list grows and grows. This is just a minor fraction of what can be added. You can expand on each day of the week, adding more properties, planetary symbols, zodiac symbols, your elements, earth, fire, water, air, spirit. And then you slowly have all those things at your disposal to bring in to charge whatever spell you are working on, or if you're making an item, crafting an item, talisman, wand. This is how things start taking place, taking shape with the colors. Okay, everything has, you heard me bring up colors. Those are some of the colors you choose to use as your candles. With the scents and fragrances, those also would be the scents and fragrances you choose to have burning in those candles or in your incense burner. I can't remember what that thing's called. You always see the Catholic priests swing back and forth. I can't remember what it's called. It's slipping my mind right now. It's a censer, I think. So this is just, like I said, one of the first steps. Correspondence is probably the most frustrating because it is so much. There's so much correspondence to do, to research, to find what's going to suit your ritual. I'll cover as much of it as I can without boring you guys too much with it. But I managed to cover metals, colors, gemstone scents, plants, incense, the ruling angels of the day. Didn't so much cover the ruling demons of the day or night, just because I don't want to say, I want to save that part for something else, but I will show you how. We'll show you how to use them with doing seal work when it comes to certain other types of rituals for the ritual outline. There is one more thing I want to show you guys. Let me stop sharing it real quick. While I could hunt down this link. Because this is going to bog my computer down, so I'm going to close this out. Like I said, I found a really cool tool that can help you guys, especially when you really want to pick the right time where everything's aligned just perfect. Now guys, I put the links to the documents under the description. The link to what I'm about to show you now. I'm just going to wait for it to load before I share screen. Because it kind of can bog the computer down a bit. Especially when you're broadcasting. You guys will love this. It's become one of my favorite tools to use, especially if I want to prepare something specific. Like I said, the links at the bottom in the description. It's called Solar System Scout. And Let me hide something so I can actually see the whole bar here. Make sure I'm still sharing. Nope. Yeah, okay. This, my friends, is our solar system. And you're about to see all kinds of cool stuff I can do with this. There's Earth. Right now we have almost a nice alignment with Venus and Mars. So if we was going to do a ritual to where we really wanted to channel that energy, we also got to somewhat, see here. I guess there's a lot we can do here. Make this a little bit bigger. As you can see, there's a lot we can do. Let's bring in the constellations. I'm just going to use New York City for right now, but you guys can find an observatory that's close to you, or you can put your own latitude and longitude coordinates in. Set your time zone, which this thing was giving me headaches the other day. I'm trying to get it to work. Oh, no, it wants to work. Of course. That's what it was. I needed to be live streaming. So I'm in the Eastern time zone, Eastern Standard. Okay, I want to back this up. Today is the, what, 6th? Nope, 7th. And I don't want January. We want 2016. And we want the 7th. We want actual time. It's about 1:14, so we can get the planetary alignments by the hour. But as you guys can see, I can go set the date and time to find the perfect time, the perfect hour to correspond to my ritual. As you guys see, we got a comet coming in, Epson. And so right now, we got an alignment, Venus and Mars, and Venus and Mercury. Actually, there's a way to... You can change your different views too. I thought there was a way to... Let me bring that up. So as of right now, we're not quite aligned. There's a way, I can't remember how to do it. You also bring up your stars, constellations. I mean, you can get right down to it and figure out how to line up your constellations, depending on where you're at in the world. We can actually zoom in pretty good. Zoom out. or is it really in? Like I said, you can click. We can get a distance. I'm zoomed in too far. What I'm trying to do here. If you hover over it, you can visit the planets or do a distance meter, which this will help you if you want to figure out your alignments. Fortunately, I don't think it's going to let us do it to the stars. But it does kind of help when you're trying to figure out planetary alignments, how we're aligned. Let's see, we're not shooting through that one. Let me bring this out some more. We got a nice alignment with the Earth, Mercury, and Pluto. Not quite there yet with the Sun and Saturn. Let's see something here. Let me toggle this off. Let's check Venus here real quick. Not quite in alignment there. Like I said, you can start using this to plot your alignments to get more energy to add to your rituals. Figuring out the constellations, how we want to go about where they are when we're facing those hemispheres. Like I said, we can change our view too. This is more of a look, you really want to get fun with it. It's pretty good for figuring out where your constellations are. There's Draco. Like I said, it's a cool little tool that can help you really add more energy to your rituals. Like I said, there's somewhere on here. Oh, looks like it froze up. Oh no, I can't. Clicked on comment up. That's fun. But like I said, which I didn't mean to do. Like I said, it's a cool tool. You can get all kinds of information. I'm going to back this out real quick. Just another one of those tools that can help us enhance and empower our rituals. But you can fast forward in time, or you can just hit start. As you can see, it's going through the days. To where you can pick and find your perfect alignments, or you can just pop this up and open the calendar and set it yourself. I meant to share that in one of the articles I had done earlier. But as far as anything else for tonight, kind of want to leave it at with just the outline stuff. Then when I go to do part 2, I want to continue. I want to delve just a little bit more, adding like the zodiac signs and symbols, and expanding on a little bit more of our correspondence before we get into actually picking a ritual. Each of these things we're going to be using to meditate. We're going to be meditating on the energies that we want to apply to it. And we're going to start either creating seals or charging our candles. So that's going to be covered in the next part, the meditation, the actual working with the energies. And then we'll choose a ritual, a type of ritual to just outline. I'd like to ask that you guys check out, I've got a couple links at the bottom of my description here. I've been sponsoring a friend's web page. They're a small business, mom and pop. They make homemade crafts. It's called Mooncat Crafts. They are in the process of adding inventory now to their store, online store. Check it out on Facebook. Go to their About Me, read it. It'll give you the link to the actual store so you can actually check out some more of their products. They've got some pictures and stuff posted on here. Awesome group of people. Like I said, it's 3 people. Three crazy cats coming together to bring you a variety of accessories from cosplay to everyday. I mean, they make rings, jewelry, decorative heels, horns for hair, or you guys know, hair stuff. I'm sure there's some cat ears in there. Chad works with the wood, does woodwork and copper crafting. Constance does makeup. She's a makeup artist and makes a bunch of sweet accessories. Emily's also a jewelry crafter. Adds a nerdy twist to their collection. Basically, these guys, there's a little story behind them. We are a combination of broke college crafters, Bordeaux, and blood, and witches. Together we go to different conventions and sell our variety of items, which include steampunk rings, decorative heels, horns, for hair and for special effect purposes, nerdy jewelry, upcycled jewelry, and wood carving. They do a little bit of everything. The crafts are awesome. And they got their stores on Etsy, Etsy.com, shop Mooncat Finds, or Mooncat Crafts Finds. But like I said, check them out on Facebook. Go to their About Me section to get the link to the store. If there's something that you don't see and might like, send them a message. You can message them on Facebook. I'm sure they'll work with you. Pretty sure they'll work with you if they can make it. like I said, it's just a bunch of college kids that's just trying to make a little extra to pay their bills, college bills, pay their rent. I'm all about supporting, like I said, the mom and pop people, their stores, because it's kind of part of giving back to the community and supporting our artists and crafts people. And this time of the year makes perfect time to get some nice stuff, nice crafts as gifts for Christmas. And for those that have been following, you also know I've been doing personal journeys. I left the link at the bottom of the description for Kailey Lewis GoFundMe page. For those that don't, are just now tuning in, don't know, she was back in November 10th. She was involved in a head-on car accident. They had to put her in a induced coma. She suffered a C2, C1 fracture, a bunch of fractures, ankle and stuff. They're trying to raise money for the hospital bills, plus they had to move out where they were living. She also has a 5-year-old kid, and she's not going to be able to work for some time, so any little help you guys could give, they would appreciate it. She has a heart of gold, and she'd give you the shirt off your back. I watched her at work. I mean, she'd make you smile when you didn't want to smile. She always found a way, no matter what she was going through in life, to bring a smile to your face and make you feel like you meant something. I don't know how many countless of strangers, she worked the bar there, that would come in depressed, but when they walked out, they'd end up walking out with a smile. I mean, she truly has a heart of gold. She definitely needs our thoughts and prayers and blessings. Anybody wants to do a ritual, please do. And if you can, stop by our GoFundMe page and give what you can. I mean, it's the holidays, Christmas is coming around. I'd like to see them be able to have a decent Christmas for her kids and for her. So, and if you guys know anybody else that you think, I mean, I do have personal journeys. It's just not for stuff like that. It's for also dealing with our veterans. They've got a story, a personal story. They want to share it. Send me a message. And I'll do an article about it, or bring them on a live stream. Let them tell their story. Personal journeys can cover a lot. We've all got our own personal journeys. This is, for me, I like being able to give back to others. And the best way I can give back to some people is being able to help them with their causes. Supporting our people that do crafts, artists, musicians, but also supporting small business people that's just trying to get by. Like I said, if you want your stuff advertised, I have no problem doing it. For those that want to come on, would like to come on and do, anybody's familiar with what KOTR is about? It used to be a magazine and a website. Website is currently down. It's going to be down for at least another month. But the magazine, it was a hodgepodge of everything, from the occult, prepping, music, books of all kinds, a little bit of everything. Things that represented us. We wanted to give a place for people to be able to go, express themselves, be who they are, and not have to worry about any backlash or people talking down. The only thing I ask, like I said, I've got a few sections that I want to bring into a live stream or do podcasts with. They're not really my area of expertise, so like I said, get with me if you want to be interested in doing some podcasts with me, or having your own section to do. I'd be more than happy to help set you up. I will, like I said, next couple days I'll come back out with a live stream for part 2 for this. I want to take some time to lay some stuff out, write some stuff up. That way we can expand on what I covered tonight in a little bit more depth. But like I said, check out the links I got below. I've got the links to both the Angel of the Day and Night as well as the outline for a ritual. Like I said, I'm going to slowly start combining them, expanding them. Basically, to be, when it's all said and done, it'll be one big or video series for you to go back, watch, and get the ideas. Like I said, it's all about taking something and making it your own. And getting the best results by cutting back the influences and stuff that'll hinder the best outcome. With that said, I want to wish you all good night. Until next time, have fun.